This is Ready, Set, Reiki, a podcast about Reiki, the universal energy life force. From the curious beginner to the seasoned master teacher, we welcome all systems, all lineages, and all levels. Reiki is a journey, not a destination. And on this Ready, Set, Reiki journey, we refer to ourselves as guides rather than hosts, as we too are traveling, supporting, and learning on this Reiki journey as well. And with that said, I am your first guide, Tracy C. Wright.
And I'm your second guide, Millie Pampina.
And today we are honored to have Tracy Fance. I always love having another Tracy on board here on our podcast. Us Tracys have to stay together, and she has it spelled beautifully as well with Tracy. So Tracy is a psychic coach. She has been helping people with their spiritual needs for over 12 years. She offers psychic readings and trainings, as well as helping women with chronic illness to help heal themselves, moving them from being in pain and miserable to being healthy and happy. Tracy uses her ranges of skills that are tied and tested, such as hypnotherapy, Reiki, NLP, meditation, etc. The mind-body connection in an area of deep interest to Tracy, and she has helped so many people to heal from thyroid dysfunction, chronic migraines, gout, and more. So welcome, Tracy, to Ready, Set, Reiki.
Hi there. It's so great to be with you. I've been really looking forward to this today.
Wonderful. So we're going to begin on our journey today with the first question. I gave our listeners just a little taste of who you are, but tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I've always been into the spiritual, even as a small child, but I didn't really fully get into it till I was in my 20s. And the healing seemed to be the predominant path that I was on. So I learned various different healing modalities. But Reiki was the one that really resonated for me. I tried spiritual healing or faith healing, whichever you want to call it, and a couple of other things. But Reiki was the one that really felt right to me. And I do truly believe we all have our own tools that work for us and other ones that don't. And I'm trained in a couple of styles of Reiki. And I use both of them, and I use them sometimes together and I use them sometimes differently. And they both bring something different to the clients that I'm working with. So I love them both.
Wonderful. So our next question is, when did Reiki come into your life? And I often like to hear, did Reiki find you or did you find Reiki?
Oh, Reiki definitely found me. I just started doing this full time. And a friend said to me, oh, you know what, you should train in Reiki and then you'd be able to teach people to do Reiki. And I was like, I want to be a teacher. And so I did all the Reiki levels. And lo and behold, within a few years, I was teaching it as well. And I actually love the teaching, but the teaching wasn't on my radar at all back then. But I love it. And I've got a class coming up at the start of November, which they're all so excited about. So I can't wait.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
It's about 12 years ago that found me. So yeah, about that time.
Wow. So 12 years ago, you began your journey. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So as you are going on this journey of Reiki, you learn different systems and now you have been teaching. What is a common misperception about the work that you do?
Oh, well, I think the one that comes up the most, and I've already got it from the guys that are scheduled for the 2nd of November with me, there's this belief that they can't do it, that, only certain people can do it. And I love watching them arrive, and you can almost see them going, this is just going to be an epic fail, and I'm going to leave, and I'm going to have wasted a whole load of money for nothing. And then by the end of the day, they're like, oh my God, I can't believe I could do that. And getting feedback from someone that could feel their energy, being able to tell someone stuff that they're picking up about them that they didn't know. So that there's no way that you were just going, oh yeah, well, this person's got a bad back, so I'll say I felt a bad back. And it's such a mind-blowing experience for them. And they all go away floating on air going, oh my God, I can heal. Oh my God, I did Reiki. And it's just fantastic. I always go home with a smile on my face having watched these people learn to fly. It's great.
Don't you just love that? What a difference it makes from the moment they step into your space where you're doing this versus when they walk out. Just even
Oh,
their face, just their whole body seems to have just relaxed. So it's quite a journey, isn't it?
it is. And some of them won't even admit when they arrive that they think this is going to be an epic fail. You can see them go,
Yes.
yeah, it's going to be great. I'm going to really enjoy this. I'm really looking forward to it. But you can just feel all the nerves coming off them. And then as they start doing it and it's working, it's like, oh my God. And you can see that moment when they shift from, I don't want to fall flat on my face to, oh my God, this is actually real. So it's just
Right.
lovely. I love it.
Wonderful. Love that. So, what is the biggest challenge you have found in this industry today?
Oh, the biggest challenge. I think the biggest challenge is spreading the word on how fabulous Reiki is. Because although people may have come across the term, they don't necessarily actually know what it is. And so people are very skeptical about stuff until they've experienced it or witnessed it. And so I think that's the hardest part for people, is because it's not tangible. You can't pick it up. And so it's so spurious that they've got to really invest in the belief in what they're doing, a bit like the emperor's new clothes, because you can't see it. You can only feel it and know it and do it, which I think is a real challenge for people.
Right. There's so many misconceptions, as we said in the beginning about it, with it, that they just can't get past it and they just need to experience it.
Yeah. And I think also, for some reason, people aren't always prepared to spend money on going for a Reiki session. They'll find the money to get their nails done, their hair done, a massage even. But Reiki always seems to be seen as luxurious or extravagant. And it really isn't. It truly, truly isn't. It's something we should all be doing every day of our lives.
Right. I know in the United States, there is no consistency in price. You have people that you can go online and get it for $14.99. You can go to another person and it's $10,000. You find the similar things happening in the UK?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, you've got the thing, and I presume this is the same in the States. It seems to be an industry-wide thing. People don't want to charge. Oh, I'm a healer and it's a gift, I shouldn't be charging. Well, back in the day when you could give your landlord a loaf of bread or a spell or whatever, then, brilliant. But my mortgage company's not going to just take a Reiki treatment in payment for my mortgage,
Right. Right.
And we train. We spend a lot of time training and keeping up our professional development, and we've got to pay for insurances and stuff like that. So, it is a gift, but I actually think everybody can be a healer if they want to, the same as everyone can be a policeman if they want to.
Right.
And so I think, people have to value their worth when it comes to what they do, whether that's readings or healing or anything else. But we have to get other people to value their health and their wellness, and seeing people like you and I.
Yeah.
Because it's so, so important.
Right. And then you always have those particular clients or students that want to kind of negotiate the price. And this is what it sets, because you don't realize that the time that you take, as you said, to train, to study, to buy the materials, to have the insurance, even with trainings, even you printing things for your students and having the materials and giving those things, it's all a part of that as well. And you are paying for that experience. With that.
Absolutely. And, it's not, you can do a one-day workshop and get qualified in Reiki, but it can take months to do enough case studies that you feel knowledgeable and that you know what you're doing. And I do make sure that my students get a huge amount of practical experience on the actual day, but it still takes a long time for some people to actually feel that they don't have imposter syndrome. And so if you're doing all of that work for free with friends and family and, people that are friends of other people, that's still time that you've given up when you could be with your family, or you could be just chilling in the garden or whatever. So, people don't realize how much goes into what we do.
Right, right. They just think we just have a magic wand
Oh, yeah.
and it happens. So you've been on this journey with your sessions and students. What is something you wish your younger self knew about this current profession?
Ooh. I wish that I'd known that I could do it, because I think had I have stayed open from when I was a child, I would have had a lot more confidence and a lot more faith in myself when I started doing this work full time. Whereas it took me a long time to actually be able to go, do you know what? I'm a good healer. I'm a good teacher. I'm a good reader. And I wish I could put that in a bottle and give it to my students, because that is the hardest bit. And I really can't give it to them. They have to go and get it for themselves.
Right. Yeah, and it's possible, to do this full time. I mean, many go into it and think, oh my goodness, I'm going to have, the full-time job and do this. But it's that focus. If you have that focus and that belief, it will happen.
Absolutely. Yeah. You've got to want it. You've got to work at it, and you've got to put in the time and the energy to get your reputation to a certain level where you're getting the word of mouth. And it's not easy. And, if you have got a full-time job, or you're a full-time mum or whatever, it can take longer to reach that point where it's ticking over. And so you can give up your full-time job or whatever. So yeah, it's not for the faint-hearted.
Right. And you just need to trust the process. Everything's going to happen and it's divine timing. So.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So when it is time for you to get your Reiki tune-up, what qualities do you look for in a Reiki practitioner?
I need someone who's incredibly intuitive. I don't gel very well with people who are kind of trying to do Reiki by numbers, oh, well, the manual says I do this. I really want that person that I know who is tuned in to their own spirituality, their own intuition, and can just totally go with the flow and just see what happens during the process.
Wonderful. So with your teaching and the many students that you have been blessed to teach, what advice would you give someone who is brand new to Reiki? They are listening for the first time. They are that curious beginner and they want to take that first step on that journey to Reiki. What advice would you give them?
I would say go with an open mind that you can do this. You're already a healer. You just need someone to help guide you through how that process works, and then just go out and make it your own.
Wonderful. Do you have any books that you recommend?
Not really with the Reiki. With the extended knowledge, then yes, definitely. Because I very much believe in the power of the mind and how that affects the body and vice versa. So one of my favorite books, of course, Louise Hay was always the premier, is Deb Shapiro, Your Body Speaks Your Mind. Fabulous book. I also use Yvette Rose's Metaphysical Anatomy, and I use that to help people clear their chronic illnesses in conjunction with the Reiki and the neuro-linguistic programming. And so those are my Bibles, if you like. They're the ones that are the most battered and bruised on my shelf because they get used time and time again.
I love that. Yeah. And books beyond Reiki are wonderful too, because that shapes who you are today.
Yeah. I'm a big believer that it's not just about learning Reiki. It's about where the Reiki takes you, whether that's past life, Akashic records. For me, it's the health coaching. I kind of see it as a part of the bigger picture, not just the be all and end all. It goes so well with so much other stuff.
Right. And it's interesting because a large number of our guests, when they start the journey, it ends up being with Reiki, and then it takes them somewhere else.
Yeah.
Whether it's, enhancing that psychic ability for them to be an intuitive reader, quantum healing. It takes them to where they never thought they were going to go. So it's interesting just to hear how people start out, and it always usually means with that first step of Reiki. So wonderful.
Yeah, it's a brilliant foundation stone, and I would always say go and do your Reiki and then just see where it goes. And don't, if you don't know what you want to do, don't worry about it, because you'll do the Reiki and then something else will present itself. So when I started doing my Reiki, I didn't expect to teach, and I didn't expect to be doing the coaching that I'm doing now. And I didn't expect to use it when I was working in the Akashic records, and I do all of those now. So
wonderful.
Just do it and see where it takes you.
Wonderful. And your answer right there takes us right into that. Our last question is, tell us about your other modalities that you do. You mentioned psychic coach, NLP. So let us know what you do.
Okay, so one of the things I loved when I was getting into all of this was past lives. I'm still absolutely obsessed with past lives and reincarnation. So I became a qualified hypnotherapist. And then I studied NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming. And I actually studied that with the creator, which was really mind-blowing. And then in lockdown, I kind of brought it into my coaching and started helping people, particularly in the mental health arena, breaking down their anxiety, breaking down their depression, breaking down the fears and the phobias that so many people were struggling with in the lockdown. And then from there, it kind of morphed into what I'm doing now, which is where I'm working on the chronic health illnesses. Because as Louise Hay started back in the 70s, she cured herself of vaginal cancer. She cured herself of CFS, chronic fatigue syndrome, and quite a few other things. And so I really wanted a tool that I could do that with, because so many people were coming to me with things like fibromyalgia, which just seems to have exploded, and other chronic diseases. And I'm just seeing more and more people whose lives have kind of come to a halt because they've got chronic illnesses, and the doctors will go, oh, you're going to be on tablets for the rest of your life, or basically this is as good as it gets, get over it, and away you go. And I honestly don't believe that that is the case. And I've proved that with lots of my clients, where I've helped them to clear the limiting beliefs that are creating the health conditions. And
Wonderful.
It's been such a joy for them, because they honestly, truly thought they were going to be prisoners of their health for the rest of their lives. So they've really enjoyed it.
Wonderful. So our listeners listening to that may be inspired and encouraged. So where can they find you? Do you offer online, in person? Tell us what you offer.
Pretty much everywhere. Obviously, there's Zoom for those that aren't in the UK and they can't get to me. That's definitely been an upside of lockdown. I've always done Skype, but Zoom's really opened things up. You can find me on Instagram. I'm Tracy Fance, Psychic Coach. You can find me on Facebook, the same handle. I don't get on Twitter very much, but I am on there. And you can find me on my website, which is tracyfance.com, which is TracyFance. And you'll find me there, and you can connect and we can have a chat, and we can find out what it is that you need help with, and we can go from there.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you for answering the questions and being on Ready, Set, Reiki. So it is the part of our journey that I hand it over to my co-guide, Millie Pampina, who has 3 social media questions just for you. Here we go, Millie.
Thank you. And thank you so much, Tracy. I personally, as I was listening to your response, and I've been blessed to have been on all of these podcasts to hear that, I really was intrigued by your response to the question, what are the misperceptions? Because generally it's been in a pretty singular vein, but with your response on, they don't think they can do it. I just thought that was really fascinating and telling, because you kind of tied that back to also, when you're looking for a practitioner, when you want to tune up, you're looking for somebody more intuitive, not somebody who's just following the steps that were outlined or guidelined in the training. And that part of it did fall into what all of our practitioners have said. I want somebody that's intuitive. I want somebody that knows, where they're at with this. I want somebody who practices it regularly on themselves. So they're able to, give me the best service. But I did really appreciate that, people don't think they can do this. And that's very telling as well, because that's one piece of feedback I get quite frequently when I talk to people about it, because I'll say, well, you've been coming for treatment. Why don't you consider studying? Oh, I can't do that. I said, well, you're already doing it, because I'm not healing you. I'm giving you the tools. I'm passing this through to you. And they, no, I'll be back. Okay. Sounds good to me. So, but anyway, we get the Tracy gathers up our social media. Tracy, see, right? Our social media questions from our audience, and we have 3 today for you. So, and again, thank you for the interview. And the first one is what are some of the common reasons people come to see you?
Ooh. Normally, it's because there's a health issue going on. They might have been really stressed. They might have just had an op. Sometimes it's because they've had a bereavement and they feel like they need healing. But it's normally something that's happened to them they might not use these words, that's left them feeling out of balance. Okay. And they know that they need someone to get them back to where they need to be. And so my job is to recenter them. So they always tend to come to me because they know that something's not right, even if they can't put their finger on it.
Interesting. Yeah. And again, I think that's a great response, because, we see more and more folks that just aren't getting the satisfaction. We don't advocate in any way, shape, or form that this is a replacement for Western medicine. It is not. But we found that in conjunction with, we've been able to be very successful with helping people take that next step with, the process of healing. They know they want to be healed, but they're not quite embracing the process. So thank you. The second one I have for you today is, what are some of the other ways you have seen energy healing modalities help people?
Wow. I definitely feel that since lockdown, definitely in the UK, I'm not sure if it's the same in the States, people have shifted. They're not anti-Western medicine, but they're looking for other answers that they're maybe not getting. And certainly in the UK, our doctors just seem to be run off their feet, and it's so hard to get an appointment. And I totally agree. Western medicine, Reiki is not a replacement for it. However, most of the illnesses that people have got are stress related. Mm-hmm. I think I heard a US doctor say something like 80% of health conditions are stress related. And Reiki is amazing at helping people to relax. So if we can help people relax and not be so stressed, they won't need to go to the doctors. They won't need the tablets. They won't need to have treatment for stress-related illnesses. So actually, we can be a replacement for Western medicine. But I definitely think that stopping the stress levels is a huge, huge role for Reiki. It's perfect for that.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, I agree. That point is well taken. If we can eliminate the drugs and all those good things in the treatment of stress, so people can basically learn to manage their lives, because stress happens. You're not going to remove it. We're just going to get it more of an opportunity to manage it and release it. So something we all, even Reiki practitioners, struggle with quite a bit. So
modern life is stressful these days.
We're only human. and it comes in and we take on everybody else's energy, right, wrong, or indifferent. And, we continue to build that. So I enjoy the time I get to Reiki myself and to meditate. Meditation has brought me so much further in my life than I would have ever thought. So it's beautiful. Thank you. And the third question I have for you is, what are some qualities your clients have told you as the reason they came to seek a session from you? So that's kind of turning it around a little bit there.
So I get a lot of people that say, I just kept coming across you on the internet and I was drawn to you. So 10 out of 10 for intuitiveness to those guys. Those that know me, maybe they've had a reading with me or they've done some of my workshops or whatever, they just say, I love your positivity. I love the intuitiveness of what you do and the fact that there's no judgment. I'm not telling people how to live their lives or what not to do in their lives. But also the fact that I do go that extra mile, because in a Reiki session with me, I will pick up their physical sensations. So if I'm suddenly feeling like I want to cough, then I know that there's a blockage in their throat chakra, and I'll know that they're probably not speaking out about something or they're not expressing themselves. And I will then be able to help guide them onto what needs to happen for that imbalance to go away. And so I don't give them prescriptions in the full sense of the word, but I will give them tips and tools and other things that they can do to help heal themselves and make changes in their lives so that they can be happier and healthier. So they get way more than just Reiki when they come to me for a session.
It's beautiful. I can feel it. I can feel it coming across the pond to me. So thank you so much.
You're more than welcome.
I've been struggling with a voice impingement here for the last week, and I'm just, the fact that I'm still talking is just so exciting to me because I just wanted to hear more. Well, thank you. That's the end of our 3 questions. However, I want to give you an opportunity. Is there anything else that, as you were talking, you'd like to maybe add or, give to our audience?
And I'm a big believer in going and trying something. You don't have to spend a fortune. Certainly in the UK, we have psychic fairs and pamper nights, and you can go and get little taster sessions that don't cost a fortune. And so go and try the different modalities that are out there. Try the Reiki, try the things like reflexology and what have you, because the only way you're going to know if you like it and how it works and everything else is if you go and give it a go. So I always encourage people to not go and spend a fortune, to go with who they're drawn to, go to those kinds of events and just go and have a taster session so they can find out more about it.
That is, you talk about synchronicities. I was just asked to join a psychic fair group, and I was a little bit on the fence, but I'm going to go for it. So thank you so much. That was perfect timing, and I feel like I'm surrounded by Tracy's. So
isn't that wild? All spelled the intelligent way as well.
Okay. Well, anyway, we're gonna move forward here, and what I like to do before I hand it back to Tracy is I'm going to just use my tagline, which for me is very meaningful: to see beauty in all things is a choice. Please choose wisely. Thank you so very much again, Tracy, for joining us today. I'll be looking forward to gathering additional information. I was out on your sites. Thank you. And I'm going to turn this back over now to Tracy Seawright.
All right. Thank you for joining us on this Ready, Set, Reiki episode. So I was your guide, Tracy Seawright, and my other guide,
Millie Biampina. Thank you.
And if you have any questions, please look us up at www.readysetreiki.com or find us out on social media. So that has been Ready, Set, Reiki, and we thank you, Tracy, so much for joining us today.